gymnastics is really a visual representation of the laws of motion in action, and very scientific. And we happen to have at our gym here at Desert Lights some really experienced, like long time elite coaches. So myself, and then we have Bruce McGee, and we have Lisa Spini.
Hi, I'm Lisa Spini. I'm the owner and head coach of Desert Lights Gymnastics, and I'm one of Mykayla's coaches.
Hi, I'm Bruce McGee. I'm one of Mykayla's coaches too. And this is my best friend, Lisa.
We're buddies.
We're buddies. We have been for years.
Do you have a few hours? It's really, literally we could write books on that subject alone in gymnastics. Part of where the art comes into the science of this sport.
Skills are Mykayla's forte, of course. So, we had a lot of time because of COVID and everything, so we worked a lot of different skills, kind of just to see what she would be the best at, and then we take those skills and we try to put them together to achieve the highest start value for her in a realistic manner. I feel like she does have some skills she might not ever compete because putting them in a whole routine would just be too much. Yeah. But she also has some new skills she learned that we're going to do. So that's kind of the basis. She's got a lot of skills, and it's choosing the ones that she does the best with the best execution and putting them together for the highest start value.
I agree. She always has a lot of stuff to choose from. So whatever works best for her and kind of what she likes the best, I tend to lean to.
So with Mykayla, the bar is set at the highest possible. We would love to win a gold medal on bars. Not known as the best bar swinger in the world, but we're not going to take that and say, okay, well, we're not going to try to do a really fantastic bar routine. We're going to shoot for the moon, and then we get as close to it as we can. So that being said, we have to put together a routine for her that works for her body and her strength. So we, being a fast twitch, super strong kid, we've put together a very dynamic bar routine with a lot of release work. Her body is just not going to ever get into the beautiful lines that you see some of the international gymnasts doing. And so we don't spend a whole lot of time swinging through beautiful pirouette work and things like that. It's more going to be a dynamic routine. You know, we work on that body line consistently and constantly. But when she swings through a handstand position very fast, you're not going to notice the tightness in the shoulders. And we work on shoulders every day, so in case anybody's thinking, well, you just need to do more flexibility with her. It's all we've done for the past 15 years is just work to try to get that body as straight and tight and strong as possible in a good handstand shape. And then there's so many other things that go into it. You got to look at the kids' tolerance for risk and their gutsiness, so to speak. So with Mykayla, I can train the hardest skills in the world with her, and she's going to try anything I throw at her. There's never going to be a issue with that. And so I know that we can train a triple double dismount, and she's not ever going to be too afraid to do that. She may or may not be able to get it done in the airtime she's got, but she's not going to be afraid. So her tolerance for risk is fantastic. You got to look at it from a coaching viewpoint. If I'm going to stand under her and tell her that I'll catch her, you got to be able to do it. You know, I can't miss her one time. I have to do my job and make sure that I ask her to do risky skills and then keep her safe on it. When she was learning the hard wild, which she picked up very quickly from a tap swing, no problem at all. And then we started working it out of the ray, and that combination pretty big time. And so it was really, really difficult for her. And I was not really a believer. After a while, I'm like, well, let's look it up and see how everybody else does it. And I cannot find a release catch anywhere on the internet going into a hard one. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just too hard. Maybe it doesn't work that way. Maybe it just works from the backswing or from a handstand. But coming out of a ray, getting it opened up tight enough and strong enough and straight enough to be able to get that big swing into the hard one, I don't know if it works. Lisa Spini was she really, really wanted us to pursue that combination. So I said, okay. And we kept working at it. And now she's doing fantastic on it. So I'm really glad that, Lisa really wanted us to keep on it and not give up on that combination, because it is a fantastic combination. And now it's a signature move for her. And she needs that on bars because she's such a phenomenal vaulter and tumbler. She's already going to be a showstopper on those events. And if she's going to go to bars and compete in the all-around and try to match a bar score with the rest of her scores, we need something special. We can't just do a stock routine. It's not going to work. So she's got to do something a little different, a little bit more dynamic, so that she can say, okay, well, these are my bars, and this is how I do. And then we feel like we can keep up on 4 events when we put together routines like that for her.
It's not a hard job to put stuff together for Mykayla. She's got so much to choose from.
But if she likes it, it's an easier
It's
task
better.
to get it in there.
Yeah.
That's a really easy one. This is going to be short. No, not with Mykayla.
I wouldn't say anything's off limits. I mean, there are skills that she's trained that I don't know because of all the circumstances, like her triple double on floor. We'll see. But she's had some time off for injuries and illness. I wouldn't say it's off limits, but of course her safety is our main concern. The coaches now, the USA team coaches, don't tell me not to train things anymore, whereas Marta used to say, no, she's not allowed to do that, things like that. So
She has unbelievable air sense and awareness. She just knows where she is in the air. And again, because she has, I'm standing underneath her with my 40 years of gymnastics and high-level gymnastics experience. She can try whatever she wants, and we don't have to worry about it. Now, that being said, if something's not working, we're not going to stay with it forever. We're eventually going to move to something that's going to work for her. She's got to have routines that have no built-in deductions in them. And then again, we use, not to say that it's risky, but there's certain skills we're not going to do. We're not going to do invert work on the bars because her shoulders aren't going to go in that direction. We know that, so we don't. It's not that it's too risky, but that we're not going to work that. We're going to spend time on it. We're going to spend time on things that she can do. But she has never once said, it's too hard, I don't want to try it. And I've never felt scared to let her try something. And it's worked because we've kept her injury-free for a long, long time.
Her safety is of the utmost importance. So whatever works for her, whatever she feels good about doing, if she wants to try something new and risky, as long as we keep her safe. We just want to keep her safe and healthy.
That's a judgment call that kind of depends on when does she have to have whole routines ready to show. So all the skills that we've been working right now, we're paring them down now to combination and routines that she can do.
There's been some skills that have come and gone for a little while and then come back. So, I don't know, we give everything a good shot, and if it's not going to work, I think we both pretty much know that's not going to work. Let's move on to something else. And
her bar routine right now has a lot of places where we can upgrade positions. So she can take a straddle ray and turn it into a church, a pike ray, or a layout ray and make it a Nabieva. We can still train skills like that and upgrade the skills that she's doing. But her base routine, like right now, because we have to show it, we have to stick with that right now, and then she can work upgrades later. We work a clear full to a double dismount right now, and it's relatively easy for her, so we can still work on triple doubles just in case in the next few months she could plug it into her routine.
But a lot of things work for her.
a lot of things work for her.
Yeah. So it's kind of just, at this point, it's just getting her really healthy again and seeing if we can bring out some of the skills that she's done and done well again. We just have to see how much time we have left and what we can do. But she has a lot of skills.
She does.
Kind of depends on the event.
It varies.
It does vary.
Sometimes she can do stuff in like a few days. It's amazing.
If she's going to try a new skill on floor, she might make it on the first try. I've seen it many times. She's just so natural as a vaulter tumbler that she can pick things up really, really, really quickly. And she can pick up beam acro stuff really quickly. But it might take months to get a skill on bars. And that's okay, because if you end up with an E or an F skill and it takes a few months to do it, it's fine with me. That's not bad at all. But we laugh about it. We have videos of when she was trying to learn Kachevs and it took, 1,000 tries. And the little kids here at the gym, one of the reasons that they do so well in watching her and it helps them so much is because they watch and they know that she's not some mutant from another planet that just walks over there and does the skill. They see her sweating and bleeding hands and working so hard and trying over and over and missing a skill 100 times and then getting some success. And it means a lot to them to see that and say, well, she's a human being like me. Maybe I can do that too. Maybe I'll keep trying. So it's really, really good for them to see that.
She's used to getting things pretty quick, so it's a little harder for her mentally if it's a skill that will actually require time and training, because she is used to learning things quick and she can do it. But a lot of the things she's learning right now are so super hard that she can do it for a while and then it kind of goes away and then it'll come back. But that's kind of the nature of the really big skills, I think, is that's how you struggle through them and get them.
These are works in progress right now, and I don't really.
We'd have to get it.
We'd have to write all that out.
We'd have to get paper.
I mean, we haven't even necessarily finalized what those routines are going to be right now, especially with the circumstances of her having the injury and the illness and being out. So we haven't really finalized them. Like, of course, on vault, we've got the 2.5 and the chain. Those are her standards. She's been doing them for years.
Yes. We're still going to plan on working just a really good Chang on vault and a really good Aminar and get those dialed in. She's played with some other vaults, but basically those will remain the same.
The Chang I know at one point it was one-armed. It's not one-armed anymore. It's freaking amazing, and she's blocking off 2 arms. So that's just gotten better. The bars, you want to talk about the bars a little bit?
Bars, when we put it all together, and I've written it out several times, and there's still options to play with.
I kind of let Lisa and Bruce do a lot of the technical construction as far as looking at, whether she's going to get a 10th higher with this routine or that routine. I just say, tell me what to teach her, and I'll teach her the trick.
But it's around a 16.4, 16.5. But again, we have some other things we can either take out or plug in and still keep it around the 16 between the 2 and 5 range.
And it depends if there's a double-double at the end or a triple-double at the end.
And what you connect before that. If you connect full twisting skill before the double-double, then it raises the connection value. So, we're still working on it.
We've kind of settled into a Weiler to Maloney to Kachev, so she'll get 3Ds in a row in the beginning of her routine. Then she gets back up on the high bar, and we're doing a straddle ray to a Bahardwa full twisting pack to get her a D and an E combination up there. And then we're going to come back with a Maloney half and then a clear up full into a double-double, which give her an E and then another D2 F dismount. And like I said, some of those could change. We could end up doing triple-double. But at that iteration of the routine right there should put her at a 6.4, which is kind of where we're trying to get everything into that 6 or better range on all the events to try to get her ready for when trials come up.
And beam, we have her old standards, the flick full, which is super amazing, the full in dismount.
Beam has some incredible upgrades that if she does them, she'll get a really, really high beam start value too.
And then we have that whole new combination that we were playing with the full twisting, back handspring, and into the tuck half, into the flick full, into the flick swing down. So a lot of it just depends on how long of a connection we get there, because if all of those things are connected, that really ups her start value.
A lot of people, I notice, are saying they take the code of points and cut and paste all these different skills. Why don't you just have her do this routine? And that kind of goes back to the point of, well, she's not a little drawing in the code of points. We can't just cut and paste the tricks that we want to get the highest starter value. We have to look at her individual skills that she can do the best and pick and choose to get the right routines together. And then, we look at, okay, what combinations and skills can we put together to get the very highest start value that we can. But if something's got a deduction, we're pulling it out before it goes to trials.
We do like to be able to take something out and put something else in. So as far as it being like written in stone, I don't think that ever really happens, does
We'll
it?
have a base routine.
Yeah.
Again, but we have to get her all healthy and
Yeah.
doing it all again. And then we'll come back up with a base routine. This is your base routine. When this is easy, then we'll maybe do this too.
Right.
It's a little bit different story right now. Probably we would already be doing a base routine, except for all the extenuating circumstances. Well, right now we have to find that base routine again and build from there. So.
Talking about coach-gymnast relationships and communication and expectations, and that could probably be another interview, probably,
Yeah.
There's a whole world that goes into that. So maybe I'll write a book someday.
Go, Mykayla.
Go, Mykayla. Let's get healthy and do this thing.